Welcome to another exciting episode of New Construction versus Existing Homes. Hey guys, Erica Galinas here for our weekly market update. This week we're talking about St. John, Indiana, and we're actually going to be covering 2 months, February and March, so we can catch up to this April market. So let's talk about St. John. We've talked about before in prior episodes that St. John is kind of in a weird spot between new construction and existing homes. I pulled some numbers to compare on that, which we'll talk about with the active and pending listings later. But let's talk now about the February and March sales numbers. So in February 2023, there were 16 units of real estate sold for a total of $6.3 million. That gives us an average sales price of $395,000. Average days on market from when it was listed to when it found a buyer, 58 days. In March of 2023, things picked up quite a bit. We had 26 units of real estate sold for a total volume of $12.8 million, which gave us an average sales price of $493,000. Average days on market was 51 days. So we basically had an increase of almost $100,000 from February to March in St. John. Looking back to compare that to the January numbers, January 21 units sold, total volume 10.8 million. Average price $515,000. So it actually looks like February is kind of the outlier month here. We're having such a low one. $495 to $515 is, $20,000. So not really a $100,000 swing. It was just February. It's just kind of cold out and new construction couldn't close because the ground was frozen. People are staying home. So I don't think February is absolutely the outlier. The averages are closer, like I said, to that $495 to that $515. List to sales prices, meaning how much it was listed for versus how much it was sold for, we're all steady at about 97.5%, between 97 and 98%. One interesting difference is that in January, the average days on market was 34 days compared to 51 days in March and 58 days in February. So we are seeing those days on market numbers kind of lengthen out. Something else that is interesting in these St. John numbers, although not unique, is that of the numbers in February, those 16 were sold, 8 of them were new construction, 8 of them were existing homes. In March, 14 of those were new construction, which leaves 12 of them existing homes. So in St. John, still, the split between new construction and existing homes is about 50-50. Now let's talk about pending listings. These are houses that were listed that have a contract and haven't closed yet for a number of reasons. In St. John's case, a lot of it has to do with the fact that they aren't quite built yet. So for pending listings in St. John, I split it up just out of curiosity between new construction and existing homes. So pending listings, there were a total of 59 pending listings, of which 35 were new construction, leaving 24 being existing homes. So breaking that down in terms of numbers, your average list price, we don't have the closing prices yet because they haven't closed, but the average list price for existing homes is $402,000 with an average of 36 days on market. For new construction homes in St. John, the average price is $427,000 with an average of 46 days on market. Not a whole lot of difference there. It doesn't really, indicate that, existing homes are horrible or new construction homes are failing or anything like that. They're kind of the same numbers. So I drilled down a little bit deeper on these new construction versus existing homes in St. John. And what I found was that the average new construction home has about 2,098 square feet and is on a 0.19 acre lot. So actually a pretty small lot, kind of going back to the city size lots. Existing homes in St. John are an average of 2,498 square feet with 0.42 acres of land attached to them. So that's almost a half an acre. So what this is telling us is that buyers who are buying in St. John, because these are pendings, these have contracts on them, they're going to get closed, they are willing to give up almost 400 square feet of living space inside and, 0.3 acres almost of a yard, a nice big yard to this little postage stamp yard. And they're willing to pay an extra $25,000 for the privilege. New construction matters to buyers. So now turning to active listings. Now these numbers are just, what sellers are hoping for, whether it's an existing home or a new construction home, but I broke them down the same way. So active listings in St. John right now, there are 98 active listings. Of those listings, 68 of them are new construction, leaving only 30 existing homes listed right now in St. John. So the numbers break down. Average existing homes have an average listing price of $462,000. Average new construction homes, and there's actually one like $1.1 million that I tossed out because it's just such an outlier, it skews the curve. But average new construction listing prices are $578,000. So that listing price difference, again, is almost $100,000. In terms of days on market with new construction, it's always a little weird because, they list a lot with a model home on it and they sell a bunch of other lots and it doesn't quite correspond. But what I found, existing homes have an average days on market right now of 72 days, which is getting pretty high. Average new construction homes have an average days on market of 90 days, which, again, seems high. But for new construction, it's actually not a very high number. And the fact that there's only a difference of 18 days between an existing home and a new construction home means that a lot of those buyers are willing to wait 2 months, 6 months, whatever it is, to get into their new construction home, even at $100,000 price difference. Again, breaking these down even further to see what, kind of homes these actually are. Average new construction square footage is 2,521 versus for an existing home, 2,752. So about a 200 square foot difference there. And then in terms of the acreage, you have for new construction, 0.28 acres on average. For existing homes, it's 0.5 acres. It's a half an acre. So the new construction ones are getting a little bigger. There's less duplexes and stuff on the market right now than there were, in the fall and winter. But that's still a tremendous difference. And keeping in mind, these buyers are trading off 200 square feet of living space and, 2/10 of an acre, like a nice big half acre yard for a 0.28 acre yard at a cost difference of $100,000. What do I think is going to take place in the St. John market over the spring and summer markets? I'm pretty sure the headline of the day is price drops on existing homes. St. John's a great town, good community, lots of shopping, there are lots of restaurants now, everything like that. But it's not very dissimilar from Schererville or from Dyer or, a town like Crown Point or Valpo, which has, a town square and all kinds of like fun stuff to do and parks and like a really cohesive like town identity. I don't know that a lot of people who don't want to buy something brand new aren't going to go to a Schererville or a Dyer or a Crown Point and spend significantly less on an existing home. I think that's something that St. John sellers are going to have to reconcile themselves with. If you have something super unique, a mid-century home, with a conversation pit in the living room and it's on an acre and a half, that's a completely different story. But when you're talking about the kind of average home that was built in St. John in the 60s, 70s, 80s, I don't know that sellers are going to be able to command the same prices that they expect when a buyer can just go next door to Dyer or a little north to Schererville and get the same home in kind of basically the same town. So what do you guys think? Is St. John just going to see a bunch of price drops over the next 4 to 6 months so they can get those existing homes working again? Is St. John just going to be the new construction mecca for that 41 corridor, and Dyer and Schererville are going to continue to see, increased prices and more sales because their prices are more reasonable? Comment down below, send me your thoughts on this. I'd like to see what you think. If you're a St. John seller and you're kind of, not sure what to do right now, maybe you're interested in some, dig deep on your home's value, or honestly, any buyer or seller in Northwest Indiana, I'm always certainly happy to help. Give me a call at 219-765-2062. You can also always text me at that number. If it's easier, you can always send me an email at hsbyerica@gmail.com. If you are looking for some more information, please go to my website at homesalesbyerica.com. There's a seller's guide, there's a buyer's guide on there. Certainly you can do a new home search or, get a market analysis there for your home. There's also a chat link that you can click on. So if you do have a question or just want to make a comment on the St. John situation, please click there and I will get that right away. If this is your first time here, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I do these market updates once a week. Next week, we are going to be talking about Schererville, so we can kind of compare these numbers for existing homes in St. John and Schererville to see what there is there. But please ring that bell so you can be notified when that is posted. Thanks, everyone, and I will see you soon.